Scion. It's been overheating, coolant's leaking out. We're using our pressure tester here to see if we can identify the point of this leak. Matco pressure tester. Customer had already put stop leak in it, trying to make it home. Car overheated again, and right now as I got here to check it, it was already completely empty, so we're going to be rechecking it. 1 second, let me tighten up the tool really quick here. Pressure tester. Let's see. Once again, we're here in the Beamer, rocking. Let's see, we got a flashlight over here, or is it over there by the car? It's right over there by the car somewhere. See no one up there. Oh, I tossed it on the seat. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right. So we got our pressure tester hooked up. Pretty much goes to this adapter right there. That special twist-on cap has a pressure relief valve on the top as well. And then we just pump this thing up and see what happens to our pressure. Let's see, I don't know if it'll build pressure or not. Customer stated he also just had replaced the water pump not too long ago. Shooting for 16 psi. Radiator hose in the back. Let's see. There. Come up underneath right here. Got a little bit of oil leaking over there. Ooh, a lot of coolant crust. Right there, look at that crust. Coolant leaking. Was that the water outlet? Looks like a water outlet. Back of the engine block right there, all that crust. Let's see. Where's our pressure at? Oh, our pressure leaked all the way down already, so it's leaking somewhere pretty good. Let's see. Zoom out here. Okay, so hang tight. I'm gonna pump this thing back up here. Let's see if we can find this leak. Not pouring out over there. We got water running down there on the floor. Let's take a look and see. That's right here in the front section. Looks like the water pump. Like a leaking water pump again. Another common issue on these cars. Toyota Scion or Scion, whatever, same thing, fucking Toyota. Look way down in there. See, it's kind of hard to see. Way down up in there. I can't really see it from this angle. But yeah, it's steam lining his way out over there. Let's see. You can also see the traces on the engine block of where the coolant's been splashing. So on these cars, usually telltale sign is you look at the alternator pulley, and on the rim of the pulley, on the inside or the outside rim, usually the inside rim, if they're using the factory coolant, it'll leave like a pink streak of dots or a little crust that accumulates, like the crust that's right there where my light's shining. Usually it'll be pink and it'll be on the pulley, letting you know that the pump has started to leak. And as it gets worse, the buildup just accumulates everywhere and starts making a hot mess. And then you should be smelling it by this point when you're driving. You should have a nice sweet smell coming through the dashboard, even though you don't have the air on, and you can almost taste the coolant in your mouth just from the smell. That's a good sign that you're leaking. Usually, whenever you do an inspection on these cars, you're gonna want to look for things like that crust right there, that yellow crust on that coolant bypass pipe or thermostat housing, or what, I don't even know, that's what, outlet pipe to the heater or throttle body. All that crust right there tells you that's been leaking. It's been leaking for a while. It has that built-in inhibitor or whatever. Actually, it's a polymer that crystallizes when it's exposed to air to kind of help plug up whatever's leaking so that it doesn't become a massive leak right out of the gate. And that's one of the good things about the Toyota coolant that's notorious for doing, is it'll do that more than most other coolants will. So it's always good to use the pink recommended coolant if you can get it in these cars. It'll save you a headache, and it makes it easy to identify whatever's leaking. So that's something to keep in mind. To change out this water pump is not too hard. You pretty much just pull this alternator, get a size 12 in there, crack those 4 bolts loose before you take the belt off. And then the pump's right there, easy access, get it in and out. I'm also going to recommend changing that lower radiator hose, the bypass hose or whatever, that's over here in the back as well. Let me go ahead and pull off the top cover. We'll pull off that top cover and we'll inspect the back of that real quick. You see, I gotta move all this shit out of the way. Hold on, I got a lot of tools here. Freaking stuff. Torque wrench, handle for the jack, work jacket. Shit in the way. It's freaking windy as hell out here. Last couple of days. So we're using size 10. Size 10 snap-on socket right here in front. Pull this top cover off. See, pull this guy off real fast. Just throw these little freaking nuts up here on the top. Keep those to the side. Don't want to lose them. Obviously, I'm working with one hand too, so I'm moving kind of quick here. Camera's moving a little bit. Sorry. There. Pop this guy off. We'll be able to get a little bit better visual here of the back. See anything else going on back there? The throttle body. Let me see my flashlight again. See my other headlamp though. Just regular flashlight, I guess. I don't like this flashlight, but all right. So here we go. You can see that we got a little bit of a coolant or oil leak of some sort down there accumulating up in the transmission. Probably coming from the back of the valve cover. Coolant wise, yeah, you can't really see it too much, but yeah, it's just going to be that hose. It's probably that clamp low key right there behind that gray connector. That little clamp right there, factory clamp, is probably just worn down and tired. It's allowing it to start to leak from seeping around the hose. The one on the back, probably the same thing as well. So we're just getting 2 clamps. Clean those hoses up. Probably put the new clamp on the one on the throttle body as well. Do a throttle body cleaning service on it. Reset the idle with the freaking computer. Let's see how we're looking over here, injector wise. Yeah, it's leaking oil from the valve cover onto the variable valve timing solenoid. The intake side, seeping a little bit of oil. It's a seep, not a leak, but seeping. Let's see on the cover. Not too crazy, nothing too crazy. Let's see what else we see. Condition of the mount. Check the mount. Let's see here, power steering fluid color. Let's see how we're looking. Ooh, super dark and dirty. Super dark and dirty. It's always good to service that power steering oil because you don't want the pump to wear out because of all the grit and grime that accumulates in that fluid. And as it's going through the engine, it causes wear and tear. Let me get a towel so we can check the oil. Make sure the oil's good. Well, we don't got to report to the customer numerous times about the conditions of all these different things. You check everything once, report it to them so that way they know you've thoroughly checked everything and you don't got to keep going back saying, oh yeah, and this, oh yeah, and this, oh yeah, I forgot on this too. You want to do all that in one shot. Customers don't like to keep coming up with more things every time you talk to them. So you want to check everything once, first time before they get back, before you talk to them and call them out to look at their vehicle. Make sure you check all the basics. Cover your ass. Oil level looks good. A little bit high, but it looks better than too low. That's for sure. Okay, so here, put that on there. We'll go ahead and check out the air filter. Make sure the air filter is good. It takes just a second. Pop this thing open. Let's see. Like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely need a new filter, especially when you can see all the particles coming out of it when you shake it. fucking dust. Yeah, loaded with dirt. The other one that no one ever checks on these cars, I'm not sure if this one has it like the Toyotas do, but they usually have the cabin air filter in the glove. So let's check that cabin air filter as well real quick. Take just a second. Let me see. I'll see all the junk in here. Female's car. It's got all kinds of crud in there. My friend's daughter's car, actually, to tell you the truth. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not gonna go and do all that with one hand. More than likely, if that's the condition of the inside of the car, for sure that cabin filter is gonna be freaking filthy. Because they haven't even serviced the regular, easy to get to filter. They probably haven't serviced hard to get to filter. Another thing I like to do on these cars is that usually whenever I do the service for the throttle body, you pull out the mass airflow sensor with a Q-tip very carefully with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. You wipe down the temperature sensor for intake air temperature because you don't want, it's a little black bulb on a little metal wire that hangs down. That little crud that accumulates on there acts like insulation, and it actually makes the temperature reading for intake air to be inaccurate. So as the temperature changes for the air that's going into the intake, at that point the computer can calculate how much mass of air is actually going in based off of the temperature, because the hotter it is, the thinner it is, the colder it is, the thicker it is. So based off of that temperature, it adjusts its fuel injection to accommodate the intake air temperature to give you optimum gas mileage. So when you have a sensor that's insulated with freaking grime and dirt and crud and all this other crap, it tends to run a little bit warmer. So then it's going to inject a little bit less fuel but give you less power. And you're thinking less fuel means better gas mileage, but in this case it's actually going to be more fuel because it has to compensate for the amount of air that's actually being measured and not the temperature, because it also measures the amount of air going in as well as temperature. So something just to keep in mind. So, but you got to be very delicate when you're messing with this guy. Very, very careful when you clean that little thing with a freaking cotton swab. And then obviously we're going to do the throttle body cleaning in the back. Check that out. We're going to order us a water pump. I'm going to run a thermostat because we're already in there, and making sure our pressure is being properly maintained. Hoses, they don't feel all crusty, crunchy. Nope, feels good. See, lower hose. This lower hose looks pretty shot out, low key. Got a little bit of oil on it. I recommend changing that guy. So we're going to get us a valve cover gasket, lower radiator hose, water pump thermostat, some new clamps to put on those back hoses that go in the back section over here for the throttle body and the heater. Throttle body service with the fuel injection cleaning that has like a seafoam. And we'll go ahead and swap out the radiator cap to make sure we maintain good pressure. We'll clean out the overflow reservoir, recommend an air filter, cabin filter. And if we want to go all bells and whistles, we'll also tell them about the power steering fluid and possibly doing a transmission service. Let's check the color of transmission oil. Let's see, because if this car's not being maintained, can't expect it to be on the road for freaking ever. Oil color, slightly red. So in this situation, first time you pull it out, don't wipe it yet. You know, nice clean white rag. Streak it across that white rag, and you will see the wear that is accumulated on the dipstick because no one's checked it in a while. So all that little black right there is actually clutch pack wear from the inside of the transmission. So if the transmission doesn't get serviced and that oil becomes darker and darker and darker, it's more grit flying around in that oil while you're driving, wears out seals, and then you start to have slippage going on. Torque converter starts to slip, starts having issues shifting or downshifting, or sometimes it doesn't even shift at all. You can get it to where it won't even go into the next gear, and then you have to manually shift it if it has a manual shift issue, where you can do that yourself. Sometimes you can't, but definitely want to make sure you maintain the oil, because of the fact that as the oil breaks down, it starts to run hotter inside the transmission, so all the internals run hotter. And a couple of degrees here and there is not a big deal, but over a long period of time, these things are not designed to run at certain temperatures, so the wear and tear that takes place at those higher temperatures, even though it's only 4 or 5 degrees, makes a huge difference in the lifespan of your vehicle and its components. So check our brake fluid. Brake fluid is full. Looks nice and clean, semi-clean. Usually when the brake fluid gets low, that's an indication that your brake pads are starting to wear down, so you don't ever fill up the brake fluid when you're not servicing the brake system, because that's your indicator to know that your brake pads are worn all the way down because the fluid goes down. So when you put the new brake pads on and you push the pistons on the calipers back, the brake fluid level goes back up. And as the brake fluid level goes back up, and you go to start to bleed it out, that's when you replace it with fresh fluid back up to the top when you have new brake pads. Or if you just want to service the fluid, you can, but you know, it's a good idea to do it when you're doing the brake pads, because it accumulates moisture inside there because it's a hydroscopic fluid, And moisture allows the fluid to actually compress in comparison to pure brake fluid, which is a hydraulic fluid actually that's very dry. So when you go to compress it or squeeze it with this master cylinder, the fluid itself actually doesn't compress and it builds pressure. When you put water in there, the water compresses and it becomes squishy and you get a squishy brake pedal. So you have a milliseconds in delay every time you push the pedal and stopping. And sometimes that 1 or 2 milliseconds is all the difference that it takes for you to get into an accident or not. So there's something just to keep in mind, about seeing dirty brake fluid in your vehicle. At the same time, you don't want to have any issues with anything sticking or binding in the ABS, having an ABS traction control light come on. So then when you try to go on an emergency stop in the rain and the guy in front of you slams on his brakes and you go to slam on your brakes, and instead of it functioning like it's supposed to because that little crud has now jammed inside the ABS block valve, then the wheels actually lock up and you start skidding. And rather than it pulsating the tire from skidding by applying and releasing, applying and releasing, applying and releasing, because the valve's stuck, it just stays stuck and you slide and then you rear end somebody. So hence why you want to make sure you maintain that fluid as well. It's very important to maintain the brake fluid in that reservoir right there. You want to make sure you always have a cap that's properly secured so it doesn't absorb moisture from the outside air. And then every 2 years or so, they recommend you servicing it, or 50,000 miles. Transmission 60,000 miles, or it depends on the type of driving conditions. If you're out in the LA area like I am, everyone thinks like, well, I can go 5,000 miles and not change my oil and I'll be good. Well, half the time you're driving, going to and from work in LA, you sit in traffic for hours every single day and you only go 10 miles. But that entire time your engine is still nice and hard like it's supposed to, doing its job. So that oil is accumulating wear and tear just from idling, sitting in traffic. You might not be going 100 miles, but just from the engine running all that time every single day, that's accumulating miles on that oil life. So you need to be maintaining the oil and changing it periodically. Don't just wait until, the car tells me, 5,000 miles, change it. No, by that time it's already 15,000 miles because of the amount of time you sit in your car with the air conditioning on, listening to music on because you're bored, got nothing to do, or your friends are hanging out and you guys are smoking a blunt in the car and you're just puffing away, puff, 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 with the car on, with the air conditioner on, just chilling for 5 hours every day. And then you only change your oil when the car tells you after 5,000 miles. Well, that 5,000 miles was long gone, way back when. So that's why you want to try to maintain that and keep that in mind, that if you just sit in your car all the time, that oil is being used up just like it would be you're cooking food. You can't keep frying shit in the same oil over and over and over and expect it to be good. It's not. So that's why it's also recommended to use a good quality oil like Castrol Edge, Mobil 1, the AMS oil. Try to stay away from like the basic house brand stuff. It's not the greatest, but it works. If that's all you can afford, it works. But that's not that's not the best route if you're going to be a person that's going to have long oil change intervals, especially if you're driving a BMW or a Mercedes like a lot of my friends do. These guys think that they don't need to change oil very periodically, like they're freaking crazy. And that's why, hence, all their cars are all broken down. But, it all comes down to how much you're willing to take care of your car, because if you take care of your car, it will take care of you. It'll get you to where you need to go, and, you'll be safe as long as you drive responsibly and you respect the fact that it's a machine that it has the ability to kill people, including yourself. So you need to be very careful while you're driving. Don't be speeding around like a speed demon just because you're in a fucking hurry. Slow the fuck down, leave a little bit earlier. So you don't gotta be racing all over the place, because these things come with a lot of responsibility, and a lot of people don't realize and understand that. Yeah, Jesus loves you too. Fuck that. Hell Satan, homie. Tripping. Shit, got fucking satanic shit all over my body. What you talking about? Jesus loves you. Smoked out, homie. Jesus don't care if we're gonna save you. But you know who will? I will save you from getting into a fucking accident by taking care of your car. Jesus won't do that shit. He'll let that shit happen. So I ain't asking him for no help. That's for damn sure. So on to the next project. While I wait for my customer to come back because he went to take his daughter somewhere, we gotta put freaking turbo clamp onto the charge pipe in the back over there. I've already lined it up, or I got a brand new clamp because my customer told me it is required, because we're not gonna put this busted ass clamp back on there. It's all fucking stretched out and out of round. Deal with that fucking drama. So we got us a brand new clamp. Just take this bolt off. We gotta hop up there. The one part that no one ever does is put freaking anti-seize right there, so that freaking mating pipe goes right on there for the charge pipe to the turbo, and then loosen both exhaust manifolds. I had to make a custom wrench to do that the other day. this custom wrench I freaking bent the other night when the power went out over here because of all these freaking fires. So I decided to make a fire myself, and I used a torch, bent this fucking wrench so I could loosen up the exhaust manifold and actually get it all loosened up correctly. So I did not have to struggle one freaking bit to get that turbo in there to line up with that freaking charge pipe or down pipe, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so that was not too big of a project. Have that finished and out of here tonight. I'm gonna finish the Scion tonight. Got a freaking 7 Series over here with the N63 engine that I'm waiting for timing chain kit parts to come in. I got the Corvette I just finished working on. Homie wants me to fix up this truck for him. We locked it down. There's the N63 that I'm tearing apart, waiting for our timing chain kit to come in. Another monster freaking project. It's got the 4-wheel drive unit in it. Got a rod knock, so we're redoing a complete overhaul on it. This one's got air ride suspension problems. Homie wants me to fix that to sell that thing. Another freaking clunker. Don't ever buy a Land Rover. It's fucking pieces of junk. Yep, and that's it. That's what we got going on. And then after that, got to fix up the Beamer. Fucking the Battle Wagon needs to get the drive shaft freaking center support bearing replaced, which I got with me today. So I'll be doing that tonight, last thing. And that's what I got going on. That's what's crazy. A lot of shit going on right now. And we got no electricity over here because the damn fucking fires keep burning all this shit out and the wind's blowing all crazy. So we're pretty much stuck out here just working with the generator. It's the only electricity we got and a freaking headlamp. But it's been cool. It's been working out. And then the homie's daughter's car overheated, so we're going to address that. The homie's got this little Mustang over there that he went tracking last year. He hasn't driven it since. The Corvette's up for sale for 20 racks. Got a custom supercharger on it. And this is the homie Jacob's truck. Freaking lazy ass motherfucking friend didn't want to fucking put the turbo on right. So he half-assed it, and then that shit had no fucking boost. And calls me, how do I help him? I'm like, well, dude, you got to take this shit apart to put it on right. Oh, well, that's a lot of work. Well, of course it's a lot of work. Ain't nothing fucking easy. You want to work, you get paid, you got to do the job right. Let's wait to my phone here. This shit's set up right here so you can just fucking get the job done. I don't even know if you'll be able to see me up in there doing that shit. It's all in the way. Let's see. Got no stand with me today. God damn it. Let's see what we got. Let's see, get all this shit out of here. Yeah, we need to start a fucking stand. Then last night I did a 535 in the middle of the night. Looking for the homie, or the homegirl's freaking homie, freaking leaking coolant. I was surprised. Fucking AutoZone actually had that shit in stock. A fucking overflow canister, or the overflow reservoir for coolant reservoir, whatever you want to call it. Oh yeah, we got that shit done. She was cool. She got an hour. There we go. Get this freaking triple band clamp up in there. She pushed it up. Got a bolt down for that she gets lost. Project in. Put this guy up in there. Or you even try with this clamp. Make sure that down pipe is lined up. Don't waste your time. Take it back apart. Struggling with shit. Don't always shoot back apart when you test drive it without boost leak. Don't do that. Take your time. Line it up first before you start tightening your nut. Loosen the downside of the down pipe and then attach it to the exhaust manifold with that 10mm branch that's in there and bend. That's a lifesaver in this project. Now you'll be stuck right here trying, but you can't line that fucking pipe up. Well, drop it. Left to go for it here. Very careful not to drop it. Just enough so you can squeeze it and put flat spot of that bolt on the back of the freaking band here. Lined up. On fire. Got like a little pick or something. Pliers, just twist that little back side of the clamp, the band, with a little bolt into the band, into the slot, and she's good. You know that we have the pipe lined up, so when that's lined up, which it is, should be rocking. Get it like that. It's for short line. It's on. Man, got that shit on. There we go. sure. Who's that pipe? Nice and flush. Yes, check. Now we're going to go socket. We'll start tightening with that clamp. Arm down. So you don't need no strap ties. You don't need no bullshit to put that motherfucker on. You just loosen up everything from down below at the back of the manifolds. Loosen up those bolts. Don't disconnect them. Just loosen them up almost to the max. Loosen up the part for the EGR cooler on the back. Get that other freaking pipe that goes on the back of the turbo for just a plain exhaust out of the way. And then if you can get to the 10 millimeter nut and bolts on the top for the downpipe where it connects, which is hard as fuck without taking the cab off. But if you can get to those ones and loosen those, you know, there's no reason why you should be able to line up that downpipe without having to go do all that extra freaking dismounting, all kinds of freaking parts. You should be able to, just how I have it right there, squeeze your arm in there, get to it, no problem. When I was thinking that should be a size 11, I think. But, let's see. Find out right now. It's back up here. Extension, use like the one with the locks on it. That, because of the fact you want to drop a socket, have it go falling down in the depths over there, because then you won't be able to get it out. You should spend all your time looking for the damn fucking socket. So we ain't trying to do all that. So we'll use this extension, verify that that pipe is on there nice and flush, as you can see before we even attempt to tighten up this clamp. And it is. So you kind of try to center this bad boy up. Twisting out. Clamps, sometimes if you use a freaking impact gun or impact ratchet, you strip out. So I'm doing this with my hand. I prefer to do it with my hand even on this one. Just as the fact it's a pain in the ass, I don't have no problems, I don't have to do it again. Later on it comes loose or some shit happens. That's when it comes back complaining. Don't want to have that. So just take your time, do it by hand. Taking shit apart with the impact is okay most of the time, as long as you're careful, but reassembling, I prefer to do a lot of the reassembly by hand, just to make sure it all goes well. Don't overdo it, don't over torque it, freaking zap bolts that only take 2 foot-pounds and you put them down to 20, causing more damage than good. Part of this project is getting that freaking clamp on, the damn charge pipe lined up. And it's got a little notch that it has to sit in. Like if it's not in there flush, all the way down, it's gonna leak. And if it's gonna leak, you're gonna lose boost pressure. And then you're gonna have a code for low boost. Truck can run like shit, and I got no fucking power. So do this part right, so you don't got to be out here doing it again, time after time after time. Also, too, it helps is you loosen the pedestal bolt, the bolts underneath the turbo. There's 3 of them, and also loosen the mounting bolts that hold the turbo to the pedestal, and that'll help give you a little bit of shimmy room if you can't quite seem to get it to move into the right place. But like I was saying, if you disconnect, well, not disconnect, but just loosen up almost to the max without taking the nuts and bolts apart on the exhaust manifold where the charge pipe actually connects on both sides, if you can loosen it up to the max without separating it, having the bolts come out, you will have enough room to be able to get it on there correctly, as long as you loosen those up and loosen up the EGR cooler on the back. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass to squeeze your hand in there, but it's worth it because you'll do it on the first try and you won't be fucking around, wasting your whole day trying to get that shit to line up and then still not be right. I had to do this on a truck in the summer. It was 126 out there in fucking Mendota, and trust, doing it the first time right, man, you don't want to be doing it twice out there in that heat. So, you know, do it right the first time, get paid. Same time, once you've tightened it up, you're going to want to check where the 2 pieces of the V-clamp come together, the band clamp come together, and they should be about like the thick, like the separation between both of the loops should probably be like 2 or 3 quarters, like 25-cent pieces, quarters. Like you could probably squeeze in 1 or 2 quarters right there in a little opening, and you could probably still go a little bit more. I don't like to max it out because in case if I need to wiggle something, I keep it a little bit loose, just so if I have to, you know, wiggle it kind of tough to get it to see it just perfect, which in this case I know it's on there fucking perfect, so I ain't even gotta worry. Did my homework on that already. So next I usually do the EGR cooler on the top back section, tighten that up, and then I'll go down below, and then I'll do the 2 bolts on each side with the back of the manifolds and bring the pipe down the rest of the way. I'll come back up here and then attach just the regular exhaust portion of it, put the freaking heat shield back on, tighten up the turbo pedestal, tighten up the turbo unit, and by that time everything has been tightened up to attach the turbo to the downpipe and to the manifold. So at that point you can use a smoke machine. I use a vacuum with the smoke machine, putting smoke into the vacuum so the vacuum can blow it instead of suck onto it, and have it blow through the exhaust pipe, and you can see wherever the smoke is leaking out from if you have any turbo leaks at that point from all your connection points. Also, another good thing to do is I usually like to put anti-seize, gray pasted anti-seize on the mating surfaces, so that way it kind of acts like a sealant in a sense, but it also allows you to wiggle it and get it to sit right, so it's not cast iron trying to be forced to move where it's gripping. That anti-seize lets it slide just a little bit, so if you need to wiggle and tug and pull to get it to line up, it kind of helps you getting it to seat properly. So, but that's just my preference, you know. You guys don't have to do that shit that way. You do it however you fucking want. I really don't care. But whatever it takes to get it to fit and get on there right, then by all means, knock it out. Yeah, whatever it takes. You gotta get on there right, get it done. Now we'll our way over to this back one on this side. Let's see. You can even see over here. So we got this guy on there already. This one's snugged up a little bit. It's not super tight. The other one is way back there in the cut. Let's see if we can see it. It's right there. On that flange, right in here, the very back of that. So there's one more. You got to get it from going over the top of this freaking exhaust pipe section with the size 11. Let's see what you got. Flashlight. I got it right here. Let's see, flashlight. Where's the light? Let there be light, they said. Get on the car over here, yeah. Let's see. we go. That little freaking stud standing up right there in the back. Let's see, right there. That little stud is to the EGR cooler, to the downpipe. So next, you tighten up that guy right there, because that one's lined up as well. I lined that up earlier, and so what I did is I put the clamp on, kind of had it on there so it wouldn't fall off after I lined it up, put a little bit of paste, wiped it down because I didn't want it all over my freaking hands, making a mess. And then that's when I put on this other section that we just did, and I already got all the bolts down below. They're all loose, but they're not off. So once that one's tightened up right there, we go down below, tighten the rest of it up, and then, man, home stretch at that point. Might as well start getting ready to call the customer and be like, hey, bring that money, let's get paid, get this truck out of the yard, and move on, you know, bigger and better fish. Thank you. Let's see if I can get you guys up in here while I tighten this clamp. I gotta invest in like a fucking mount or something. Damn, that's just annoying. I've been fucking mount this thing somewhere. That fucking bone. But I'm not about doing all that freaking GoPro shit either. I'm about doing this is live fucking raw bullshit right here. So it's raw in the field. So shit really goes down. No time for no editing and all that shit. I'm doing all that. There you can see the clamp. You can't necessarily see. $5 in foam falls. Get it all up in there, the top side of it. Go over the top here. Flashlight. Let's see what we're doing. Now we're tight. You guys can see it's kind of hard to see. I gotta turn you guys a little bit, just a hair, like right there. Let's see, I can actually hold it now because I got it on there. So right there in that corner. There's a socket right there, tightening up the freaking clamp. Zoom in. Right there, that's our socket. Ratchet, tighten up the freaking EGR cooler. Yeah, truck turbo. Yeah, not the biggest, but it's big enough. Does the job. Works well. It's an Amazon turbo that my customer bought. Probably blown out before you know it. Tighten that one up. And same thing. You don't want to over tighten it and freaking break the fucking clamp, because those are a fucking pain in the ass to get out and change out. So you know, just nice and snug. Test it if it leaks later. Tighten it back up more if you need to. But this I'm only doing with 2 fingers. Barely, you feel a little stretch. It's on that bolt that I'm tightening up. You can feel it where like you're maxing it out. You don't want to fucking break the damn thing. So you just nice and easy, but obviously tight. You don't want to leave it loose either. Call that good and tight torque elbow. You know, German torque spec. Teach that on BMWs. So now we gotta get that thing out of there. Let's see. We'll finagle this thing out. That's why I use the locking socket so I don't lose it. Yep, and just like that, got that sucker out. So now with that out of the way, we finish up that top exhaust pipe. Should be this guy. This one's already tight. Let's see. Go check this clamp just to make sure. That's a 10. Okay, we're good there. So now he's got to go down below and do the ones that take 2 hands, which is a little bit tougher. They don't have the truck jacked up, but the rest of that's easy peasy. Next thing we got to work on, we got to get this freaking little heat shield right here, a little bracket for this heat shield so it doesn't rattle around, make all kinds of freaking noise while they're driving. It's got to get mounted up like so, right there. There's also a stud down below, like myself, right here, that this bracket sits on, that also has a ground for the ficum. And so let me see if I can get this damn thing to sit on there right. Tell me that clamp's in the way. Don't tell me the clamp's in the way. Let's see. Move your ass there, clamp. Come on, come on. Okay, cool, there we go, we're in the game. Cool, so go just like such. Heat shield to that bracket. Bracket right there. And there's a ground that goes on there. Make sure the wiring in the back over here, you don't crush the shit out of it when you tighten up that fucking bolt that holds this thing down to the stud. And you don't want to cause no wiring problems later on, so be very careful navigating around all this stuff. Or go and just start tightening shit all crazy without double, triple checking the surroundings of what you're tightening up and where it's going. Well, that's just the way I do things. I don't know, you guys can do it however you choose, but I'm just saying, rather than have to go back and fix some shit later in a hard to get to spot, best, you know, take your time. Got a size 8 bolt right here. A flat old washer bolt. It's got a washer on it. Well, that's what the customer had on there. I don't know. I'm just fixing this mess. So I don't know if that's the actual proper bolt for it. But 8mm there. Tie on. There's that stud right there. You can see down below my hand. Let's see where that. Right here. That's where that ground wire goes. Ground wire is somewhere right here in this bracket. There's also a little bracket for the harness. So here's that ground. It's right here. There's the ground wire right there. Also gets attached right there. So make sure you don't twist it up all crazy because it's already a bad spot as it is. So just be very careful with that wire. I try not to bend it too much if I don't have to. This is the second bolt for this heat shield bracket. I'm gonna use my other hand. There we go. Got it on. In there. And up. Wiggle a little bit. Cool. Bolt number 2 for the bracket on. Kind of hard to spot, but so it's going. So now back to this bracket. We're gonna put the freaking ground wire on there and just get the bolt or the nut onto the freaking stud there, so that way at least it's in place, and then I'll start tightening everything up. Let's see. You can see it there. Zoom in right there. So we're gonna put a nut onto that one, and then we'll tighten up those 3 and also the one in the back. You can actually, I think the ground actually would probably sit better on this one in the back right here. So I'm gonna have it freaking bent over or forced towards the front. Let's see. Yeah, it actually will sit better right there on that back stud for the bracket. So we got 2 nuts, 2 bolts for that back stud, or for that back bracket for the freaking heat shield. So size 10mm nut or 8mm nut. Yeah, it's an 8mm nut. There we go. That one's on. Okay. See, we got another one right here somewhere. Another one right here. Got number 2. The front section of this bracket. These are those things you got to put on, because if not, this shit will be rattling, making all kinds of fucking noise. And then if you're like me and you got one of those customers that like is so picky about everything but lets the shit get all fucked up, he'll be crying and complaining about this rattling noise, and then you'll be back up in here putting that freaking bolt back on because you're being lazy the first time. So customers don't like to come back to complain about shit. Well, they do actually, but they don't like to keep coming back and see you after that point. So just get it done right the first time, so you don't got no issues with your customers coming back complaining. Because I know if it was me and I had to keep coming back, I'll be fucking tripping on somebody. Like, fix my shit right. I paid you, fix it. And then ask for anything else. I don't care how you do it, just do it right. So that way I don't gotta keep coming back to see you, because we're not homies, you're business partners. I use you for a business service, fix my shit, and that's it. Keep it pushing. But some people setting up motherfuckers like that, trapping on their car because they're fucking lazy. All bad. All bad to be doing business like that. And so you're ashamed of yourselves, fucking mechanics like that, lazy motherfuckers. But it's all good. It's all good. It means more work for me, so I ain't tripping. So I'm gonna take this nut off real quick and check something, because that other one doesn't seem to fit on there right, and I'm not trying to cross thread it. We're gonna check it to fit on one of these other bolts that are right here real quick. See, fits that perfect. Okay, so I was checking that to make sure that fits. And then we're gonna go into the garage, the shop garage over here, and we're gonna find us a nut that fits onto this freaking bolt, so that way I can get the second piece of the bracket on there. And we still got no electricity. We're running a fucking generator still, but we'll do it in the darkness. Project garage. Let's see what we got. Just need a freaking nut that fits this bolt. Let's see. We got washers right here. Let's see what we got. Just give me 1 second here. Let's see. First try. Perfect. That's inoperable at the moment until I turn the generator on, because the factory's down fire and all these winds. So I'm doing everything over here on the ground. I work on the beamer drive shaft later. The Toyota or the Scion, I don't really need the lift, but make things nice, make it a little bit easier. Courtesy of the homie Jesse, who came through with the lift. Big time freaking lifesaver. Plenty of projects where that thing is coming handy. Okay, so here we go. We got nut on the stud right here. Man, let's see. Okay, cool. So we take the other one, which was this guy. Or was it this one? No, this is the locking nut. Was this one right here. On the one with the ground wire. Snap this on with the ground wire to make sure that ground wire gets tightened up. You don't forget about it. Okay. Let's see, what do we got? A 1/4-inch ratchet. Do we have it out here? Oh, we got 10. Oh, we probably have Scion. Yep. Okay. So 10, little snap-on socket. Most commonly used socket around here is 10 millimeter, so figure you got to invest in a good one if you're going to get a freaking 10 millimeter. So you got a 10 millimeter snap-on socket. Works great for the 1/4-inch ratchet. Also got a 3/8 one, same setup, short snap-on, medium length 10 snap-on, and a deep 10 snap-on. That 13 and 17, and 16, they use the most common, so I use those snap-on beamers. Just like that. Bracket. Nut number 1 tightened. Obviously, don't wrench the shit out of it. Just tighten it down. Get all crazy. I'm gonna squeeze in for this last one over here in the back. I'm with the ground wire. Let's see if you guys can see. That ground wire is on there. It's got a little fisheye or eye ring on it, whatever you call it. This we get 10 on there. Let's see, might have to get the wrench. It's really close to that back bracket. And now I get with this. Let's see. Take your time, that's all. Take your time. Yeah. Up. Looking up. Come on. That's back on there. Look it up. Just get that snugged up. Very narrow space right there on the back side of the bracket. get a wrench to finish that thing up. Try one last time. It keeps coming off and getting a fucking wrench. Doing this book fucking falling off bullshit. Fucking damn it. That ground wire needs to be tight. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a wrench because I'm not gonna keep fucking around with that shit. So let's see what we got. Up, box down. It's all good, it's all good. All freaking dry from earlier. Alright, let's see. I don't like fuel system box. It's all good. Wrench box. I have it on my tray. No, maybe not. No, extra sockets. Shit. Let's see what we got. That jack stand in the way. Fan clutch tool. Wrench box. Wrench. Classic little freaking toolbox, courtesy of my grandfather. Had this for fucking long ass time. The other day. 10 millimeters usually end up at the bottom. 3/8. Like 10. 11 right there. Files. 13. 8. 10. Bam. Nice 10. Matching wrench 10. Loosen, and then we got that's loosened like that, tied in like this. So this guy squeeze the sucker back up in there. I mean, this one's gonna give me a hard time. She got the angled one. Alright, just do it like this. Still good, you ain't tripping. Almost there. Alright. Pretty snug now. That winds are picking up over here all freaking crazy. Fucking dust everywhere. Got a headlamp out here so you can see. Also, once you get to the spot where it starts to tighten up against that freaking ground wire, make sure that it doesn't twist up the freaking wire as it gets real tight, because it's going to pull that freaking ring that's attached to the wire and start to spin. So be very careful, you know, break the wire trying to tighten it. The only reason I say that is because I know from experience. I've done that shit before back in the day. So I'm not trying to keep having that shit kind of stuff happen, so I'm always extra cautious. Let's see. That's about the bottom now. Blocking all the light with my fucking arm. Sit there. Right in the back center. Probably one more turn and we'll be good. Get that down there pretty tight now. Yep. Okay, so that's that. So now we gotta get size 8 short socket, tighten up those top bolts on that heat shield. So Come over to the tray. See, 8mm should be in its place right there. Yep, bam, 8 or 5/16, whatever. You guys prefer the same thing practically. I'm always rocking the metric sockets for the fact that I'm always working on BMW, so using that European measuring system. We'll go and tighten up these ones for that heat shield. That one, there's one right here in the back. Same thing. Make sure you don't forget about it. It'll be rattling, making noise. There we go. Almost there. Alright, let's get the tool out of there. Oh yeah, snug as a bug. No noise, no rattling noise, nothing loose. You can definitely feel it. It's on there solid. So you know it's not gonna be making no noise when the customer's driving down the road. Especially when it's right up against a cab like that. That stuff echoes. You can hear it in there while you're driving. People, if it was me, I'd be getting annoyed hearing that noise. So I'd definitely be, hey man, you guys need to fix that shit, whoever worked on my truck. So I try to eliminate those kind of issues because I don't want them coming back complaining. So they use these bolts for mounting the turbo. These are what grade? These are grade 8. It should work. Normally though, it should be a 10mm head if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna go check the garage and see if we have any hardened steel bolts that are the correct ones. Put in there. Because that way, in case later on I gotta service this truck and do some work to it, I want it to be the right stuff and I don't have to keep looking for fucking wrenches and all this other bullshit to fit. So since we have an arsenal of freaking nuts and bolts and whatever, something along these lines now. This is a little bit bigger. Let's see, it's gonna be something along that size right there. But let's see. Let's see what we got. I'll use freaking nuts, bolts, and washers that have been here, but lots of boxes of new ones. But these will do just fine if we can find the size 10s. That are long enough anyway. Let's see. That guy looks about what would work. Let's see, it's only I don't see any more in there. Oh, over here in the back. No, it's too short. Too short. How about this? We just come look over here at the new ones. Let's see if we get something like this. Let's see. Hold on one sec, bear with here. Let's see, check my red size. They're too big. Actually, too big. The one that I grabbed, which was right yonder. Too big. Let's see, what else do we got? New bolt category. Yeah, those are too big. This one, on the other hand, oh, that's freaking 12 point. Now this one here, let's see. This one is, right size, wrong thread pitch. All right, wrong one, okay. Let's see. They're too big. Not too big. Nope. Over the wall of freaking puzzling mystery. Here we go. This looks like where they got the bolts originally from, was right here. Let's see, the grade, 5? Is a grade 5. Well, I guess we're just gonna be using those same ones then. Fuck it. I feel like searching for too damn long. Takes all that time. Let's see. Get one more quick little eye over here. Let me see. Nothing in there. Those are more like studs. I don't see none there. There was no electricity bullshit. Crazy. Let's see. 13s. Teens. There's probably some up in there somewhere. There's gotta be somewhere here. I got a bunch of freaking bolts. Like these threads for the 10 head. Oh well, fuck it. We're going with the 13s then. I guess we're going with the 13s. We got no choice. We're going with the 13. Yeah, we're gonna have to go with 13. This is that. All right, let's see. Okay. Well, let's get some lock washers at least. See, we get us some lock washers. Do we have any lock washers in that size? Yeah, get one. And two. Okay. So we still got an original bolt right here. My hand. This other one. I'll take the other one too, just in case. Okay. Phone battery's getting low too. Shit. I'm fucking running out of battery power doing everything. Not a fucking mission. Alright, so let's see. This lock washer on there. This is for the turbo mounting section that goes right there. Right there. That little piece to hold that sucker on. Let's see. So up goes right in, nice and smooth. Let's go. Let's see. Let's look at my hand there. Hold on 1 second. And there it is. So we're gonna go and put 2 of those on, one on each side. We'll tighten the turbo to the pedestal. Yeah, something like that. We got all that shit, bro. That ain't even nothing, bro. You want to see what kind of supplies we got over here at the spot? Yeah, I'll show you the supplies we got, bro. We stacked on supplies like nuts, bolts, washers, crimps, freaking electrical. We set up, brother. We are set up, except we got no electricity. So that's the arsenal of the wall bolts, nuts, and washers with more boxes of every freaking head bolt, head stud you can freaking think of in all these boxes. All autumn racing stuff. We got race car project that the homie's doing. We got freaking. Let's see. Let's just give you a quick example of what we got. Toolboxes. Found this sucker right here. Toolboxes, sockets, every free wrench you could think of, every size you could think of, we got stacked up. Sockets, every shape, size, deep, shallow, freaking every wrench, screwdriver, specialty tool, short stubbies, freaking got the mill, the press, grinder, drill press, tons of freaking off-road suspension parts and components. We got all the power tools you can imagine, all the freaking nut assembly and sorting, cotter pins, freaking, man, got it right here. The electrical station, because the homie had to build a generator because he's got no freaking power. Generator went out. Got freaking all the different freaking electrical crimps, tapes, zip ties, fuck, you name it, we got it right here. We stacked up right here. So right now it's a hot mess because there's been no power over here in Sand Canyon for 2 weeks. So homie's been living with no power. He only got a generator running. That guy. And we made our own custom cable that we made ourselves. Wired into the freaking garage. That powers the main panel. That powers the whole house, both sides. So at least he's got some electricity, but you can't run all the appliances on that shit. It'll blow the freaking, that thing just can't handle it. But the to the backside. He's got another fucking driveway on the other side of the Land Rover way over there where he rides the motorcycles that go up there. The big dirt lot's got the RVs up there parked. Yeah, sick pad, bro. The homie's got a sick pad up here in Sand Canyon. And that's why. So we always do all the projects right here. Like, so we got going on. Truck, Land Rover, BMW 7 Series. We got the Corvette that we just supercharged. We're trying to sell. Got the Mustang track ready. We got the race boat. Well, actually, it's not a race boat. It's just a freaking cruising boat for cruising. The homie's daughter's car, the homie's truck, my wagon. The homie's Dodge diesel truck's not here. He's got that Fox body on the other side we're restoring. I just finished fixing that Land Rover over there. We went off-roading the other day when it rained up in the mud. That shit. Got a little dirt bikes to get around the property over here because it's so fucking massive. I'll just see if we can see. Let's show you over there, the other side of the pad. That's his backyard area. Got dogs up in the front. But yeah, sick ass. Homie has this sick ass pad. Got to give it to him. He also owns a boat shop up here in Santa Clarita. So he's doing the damn thing, you know. So got to give him that. He's definitely doing the damn thing, which is cool, you know, especially in a time like this where a lot of people don't have it, you know, or don't have work and shit. The homie's fucking busy as fuck, so keeps me busy, which is good. Because, you know, I'm always looking for work, so if there's no work somewhere else, you'll know where you'll find me. I'll be here working. Because there's always plenty of work right here. But anyways, you guys, my phone's about to die. I've been on this thing for going on, 72 minutes now. I appreciate all you guys following along, freaking helping me out, you know. So I just want to say thank you. If you guys can, like, subscribe, we'll definitely appreciate it. I'll be doing a couple more live videos coming up here pretty soon, doing another BMW restoration. I got a BMW M5 with the S63 engine that I'm going to be doing a full rebuild on with connecting rod bearings, timing chain kit, and going to get it. Right now it's got a bad rod knock, but the homie wants to rebuild it. He's still paying for it to 2016. So we're going to rebuild that whole engine. We spent about $5,000 on parts. We're going to soup it up and have it going. So I'm going to be making another live session for that one, doing the whole engine overhaul. So kind of keep your eyes open and see my posts. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Talk to you there.